Grab your fork, grab your knife, grab your napkin, y'all. Also, grab some earbuds. You know you never know what's going to come out of my mouth. It is time for Lunchtime True Crime. Like and subscribe to this channel because you know what it is? We are on Deadly Dentist. Deadly Dentist. Now look, I thought there's maybe like one or two deadly dentists out here in these streets. It's a whole bunch of them. So many so that there is an entire series on TV called Deadly Dentist. I'm living for it. But look, today we are talking about a particular deadly dentist out of New York, upstate, not here local, not here in the tri-state area, upstate New York, Ulster County. I'm looking at y'all, Ulster County, with your Woodstock and your deadly dentist. We are talking about none other than Gilberto Nunez. He might be a relative of mine. I don't know. I might have to do some research to see if Gilberto is related. Or maybe Nunez is a very common last name. Unclear. Okay, I'm going to have to talk to my sister about people. Anyway, look. Gilberto Nunez was a well-loved dentist in the local area. He didn't do like oral surgery and all that fancy stuff. No orthodontia, just regular dentist. If you wanted a nice pearly smile, oh, Gilberto could give it to you. And he seemed like a nice enough guy. And so he had this very best friend named Tom Coleman. Gil and Tom, oh, they were just pals. Wonderful, wonderful friends. Only Gilberto accidentally, maybe a little bit, started having an affair with Tom's wife. You know how sometimes you accidentally have an affair with your best friend's wife? I hate it when that happens. That has never happened to me personally. And if I found out it was happening with my husband, then it would be a situation. That's all I'm gonna say. I would not be that happy about it, but I cannot be on here on the YouTubes confessing to unaliving people. So I'm just going to say I would not be happy with that turn of events. But apparently Gilberto was like, this is not a problem, Tom. I'm going to be BFFs with you. I'm going to, be over here doing the nasty with your wife. Don't mind me. Yes, y'all got a wife and 2 kids. Everything is fine. And then one day Linda was looking for her husband and she is like, I'm driving around looking for Tom. He went to the gym, but I cannot find. Oh, there's this car over there in the Planet Fitness parking lot. Okay, let me just pull up to him and see. Oh, wait. My husband seems to be very unalive. Let me call the 911. Hello, 911. My husband appears to be dead. Very, very dead over here in the Planet Fitness parking lot. Oh my goodness. I do not know what's happening. And so the cops show up and they're like, first of all, on the 911 call, they're like, ma'am, are you sure he's dead? And she's like, yes, I think he's dead. Immediately I was like, that heifer did it. She having an affair. She obviously killed her husband. But I was like, okay, we're going to wait and see how this plays out because this story has many twists and turns. Very, very many of them. So the police come in and they investigate and they look around at the situation and they're like, okay, maybe he had a heart attack. Maybe he unalived himself. Maybe he just drove to the gym very early in the morning and thought about going to the gym and then took a nap and died in his sleep. Unclear. What they did notice is that his zipper was halfway down. Okay. And his belt was undone. Mr. Tom, were you meeting a friend? Okay. And the seat was laid back. Okay. That gives us some idea of what might have been going on. Maybe he was finding his happiness. And in finding happiness, he was so happy that he had a heart attack and died. And so people were like, okay, we're going to cart his corpse over onto the medical examiner's office and we're going to do all the tests and we're going to figure out what happened. Meanwhile, they go back to the family and they're like, Linda and your 2 children, I'm so sorry that your husband is dead. And she's like, oh my God. And they said, who could have killed him? Or did he die of a heart attack? The medical examiner was like, we have this nice report and it looks like he died of midazolam poisoning. And they were like, midazolam? What is midazolam? And they were like, oh, it's a drug like the people get anesthetized with. And he's dead from it. So everybody was like, where's that dentist? But his best friend was a dentist. Was he mad at the dentist? Was the dentist mad at him? What exactly is going on? So they call Gil in, and Gil is like, I know I did nothing. So I will go to the police and I will talk to them for as long as I want to, for as long as they need me to. I am not going to hire a lawyer. I'm going to sit and have a nice conversation because I know I did not do anything. So they're like, Gil, can you tell us about the nature of your relationship with your BFF, Tom? And he was like, yes, I can. So I was sleeping with his wife, and they were like, I'm sorry, what now? You're doing what now? And he was like, yeah. But it was fine because he knew all about it. And they were like, okay, you want a cup of coffee? We're going to get a pen and a piece of paper. We're going to start writing this down. Please know that this is being recorded, but we have not read you your rights yet because you're not under arrest at all. But please tell us everything. He's like, yeah, see, like 6 weeks ago, an email got sent to Tom, my best friend, and his wife, Linda. And each email said, your spouse is having an affair. And so they did all the research and they traced it back. And it turned out the email came from me. I felt terrible guilt about it. And I was so sad that I was sleeping with my best friend's wife. And I wanted to tell him, but I couldn't think of a way to tell him. So I told him in like a fake email. And everybody was like, right. Okay, what was his reaction? Now, according to Gil, Tom was upset, as you could imagine. In my mind, this should have been the story of Tom killing Gil. But okay, according to both Tom and Gil, according to Gil, Tom was very upset and was just like, I'm not going to speak to you while I process this, and I'm going to talk to my wife. So the husband and wife, Tom and Linda, talk about it, and they decide, okay, we want to keep our family together. We have these 2 beautiful children. We live here in Ulster County. What more could you possibly want? Woodstock is right over there. So we're going to try and work our marriage out. And they were like, okay, we're going to stay together, and we're going to try and work our marriage out. And Gil goes, and he throws himself on the mercy of Tom, and is like, please, please, please forgive me. Oh, my goodness, I'm so sorry. And I will never do it again. And Tom and Gilberto got over it and decided to be friends and continued to email each other. And I was like, that lying sack of sugar, Gil, he's just saying that. We know that's not really true. Come to find out, we see the emails between Tom and Gil. They made up. They're friends and everything is fine. What? What? That is an unexpected turn. And so I was like, okay. But Linda doesn't know that they're friends, right? No, Linda knew. So Gil's relationship continued as normal with Tom. Also, Gil's relationship continued as normal with Linda. Okay, so y'all just having an open, okay. Tom's family is like, he would do anything to keep his marriage together. And if opening up the relationship and allowing Gil to enjoy some marital congress with his wife, then he was fine. In fact, Tom was even sending emails to Gil saying, oh, your girlfriend is over here baking. Oh, she made some nice brownies. And Gil would email back, oh, I love her. What? These people are very, very understanding. But okay. And at some point, Tom and Gil were exchanging emails of, I love you too. I love you, bro. No, I love you too. What? Okay. And Tom trusted his best friend so much, he was like, you know what? You can clean my teeth. You obviously cleaning out my wife. You can obviously clean my teeth. So the man's cleaning his teeth, encouraging him to floss, giving him the good fluoride treatment. Did he give him a discount? Do you get your I'm messing with your wife discount when you're sleeping with when you allowing the dentist to sleep with your wife? I don't. Okay, look, these people are far more understanding than me. So Gil was like, so we're all done here? I can go? And the cops were like, yeah, this is weird, but you can go. So they sent him on his merry way. And they're like, we don't know what happened to Tom. So they talked to Linda and she confirms, oh yeah. The dentist is cleaning his teeth, my teeth, cleaning me out, cleaning everything. Everybody cleaning the whole family's teeth. Everybody is good. And they're like, okay. And they continue to investigate. And they were like, Gil, come back in for a minute. couple more questions. So they come in and ask him a couple more questions. Meanwhile, while they're in there asking him questions all like friendly, like they tear apart they do a search warrant on his house and on his office. And so they rip everything apart looking for some midazolam. And so he's talking and whatever. He's like, yeah, no, I was indeed doing the horizontal mambo with the man's wife, and everybody was good. I told you it was fine. See, thanks so much for having me. It's so lovely meeting you. And I'll give you 10% off, a teeth whitening if you need one. Thanks. Okay, great. Have a good day. Bye. And so he leaves and he goes back home. But when he gets home, his apartment is a mess. He was like, the cops have torn this place apart. That is so rude of them. It is not rude of me to bone this man's wife. It is very rude of them to mess up my apartment. So he's like, oh, I should probably hire a lawyer. I think they suspect me. And so they look all over his apartment and they find no proof of anything. They look all over his office and they find no proof of anything, except for they find 2 bottles of midazolam. Here's the thing, though. They were in first aid kits up on a high shelf. They did not have Gil's fingerprints. The bottles were sealed, unopened, and had never been used. Also, midazolam is not something that a regular dentist would use as a part of their practice. But it was a first aid kit that he likely didn't even know what was in the first aid kit, because the office manager would have bought that. But they were like, okay, dude, we're going to lock you up because we did find midazolam. And he was like, but I wasn't there. But I didn't do anything. How are you going to, what are you going to, what? So once he found out they had torn apart his office, well, he hired some lawyers. And the lawyers was like, they have nothing. We go get you out on this $1 million bail. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to have to break up with Linda. That is too bad. Okay, sir, that's probably the least of your worries. Also, she probably broke up with you. So both families were like, we don't understand what's happening. We think that Tom might have let the affair slide because he would have done anything to keep his family together. But something about this situation is odd. While they were investigating Gilberto on the maybe he killed Tom, maybe he didn't, they got his computer and they went through his computer. Well, what do you think when they found his computer? Absolutely nothing that linked him to this murder. But they did find some other stuff. The other stuff they found was a CIA, like a pass, like some sort of badge that he forged. Sir, what are you up to? And some sort of CIA report that he forged. Unclear what this cuckoo bird was over here doing with all this CIA stuff. And they were like, okay, sir, why have you forged all this CIA paperwork? And he was like, I don't, a hobby. And they were like, it appears here that shortly before Tom's death, your mom sent an email to Linda saying that you should leave your husband and get together with Gil so y'all can live happily ever after. And she was like, yeah, his mom sent me an email because she thought, she was trying to get close to me. And she was saying that we could all live as one happy family. And the cops were like, yeah. Only that email, it was not from Gil's mom. It was from Gil. And the wife was like, oh, he's wackadoo. So, I'm going to maybe break up with him because this is kind of a bridge too far. He pretends to be a CIA agent, unclear why. He lies, he might have killed my husband. This is bad news. And so a year after Tom dies, the cops still don't have enough information. And Tom's son, who was 17, was like, I am struggling without my father. And so he takes too many pills and medication and gets sent to the hospital. And they're like, oh my gosh. And the son says, I just want to lay down and go to sleep and wake up and be with dad. And the whole family is like, oh my goodness, we have to get this young man some help. And so they're busy getting him all the help that he needs. And then 3 months later, he tries again via another method to remove himself from this mortal coil. And he's successful. At 18 years old, he goes to visit his dad permanently. Terrible. So, of course, now the family is devastated. And not only are they blaming Gil for the death of the dad, they're now blaming him for the death of the son, which is horrible. Listen, this lady is like, it was bad enough I was tipping out on my husband with my dentist. And now my pearly whites are not pearly and white as they used to be. But it's just like, oh, God. Okay, so now my husband is gone and my kid is gone. What am I doing? Okay, so whatever. the wife, Linda, is like, Gil, I'm done with you once and for all. And Gilberto is like, okay, I'm going to go on Match.com or whatever. So he goes onto the computer dating site and he's like, I am a nice young man who does not kill people and does not pretend to be from the CIA. Send. Sure, I'll find myself a nice lady. And you know what? He does. He finds another lady. Ma'am, you should be very careful. And they fall in love and they get married. Okay. So the cops continue to investigate. Cut to 4 years after the death of Tom and 3 years after the death of Tom's son, the cops are like, we finally have enough. And so they throw the cuffs on Gil and they throw him in jail and they take him to trial. And they're like, look, here's the other extra evidence that we found. We found all these emails and unopened emails. And one of these connects Gilberto to the unaliving of his friend Tom. And apparently the emails were from a website called Be Naughty. Okay. Maybe his pants were down because he was going to meet one of these Be Naughty ladies. Unclear. So the whole case goes to trial. And I'm like, okay, but do they have enough proof? Because from what I've heard, I'm not entirely certain there's enough proof to convict this man. There's a lot of circumstantial evidence. And they have a videotape of a white car that matches Gilberto's car parked next to Tom's car, but they can't see a license plate. And then they're like, oh, the light patterns, the way the headlights shine on the ground, that light pattern matches the light pattern from Gilberto's car. So sure, we have this in the bag. So they have the case. It goes to trial. 4 years of waiting, 2-3 weeks of trial. The jury goes out. They're out for 6 hours. And I'm like, okay. And they come back and they're like, the state of New York versus Gilberto Nunez. We find him not guilty. The wife, Linda, who was in the bonation of the Gil, you know what I'm saying, was like, what? I believe he unalived my husband and is responsible for the passing of my son. He's a sociopath, blah, 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 blah. She's freaking out. But they didn't have the evidence. Yes, he's weird and a creeper, but his new wife believes in him, and the state never had enough evidence to convict him. It was circumstantial at best. The way his lights shine on the ground, are you serious right now? So he's walking free, only not so much. He was found not guilty of murder, of second-degree murder, not guilty from the midazolam, because here's the thing. The midazolam that they found in Tom's system, it wasn't enough to kill him. Yes, he had some in his system, but was it enough to unalive him? No. But because Gilberto was Tom's dentist, he knew that Tom had sleep apnea. Now, a person with sleep apnea, if they take midazolam, that could cause their heart rate to drop down to the point that they leave this mortal coil. But you can't put midazolam in Gilberto's hand. Also, Tom had an enlarged heart. He could have just died from roughing up the suspect right there in his car. You know what I mean? Like, oh, now I'm dead. I don't know how it all happened. I'm just saying that's what could have happened. But Gilberto found not guilty of those charges. Only, yes, he's guilty of impersonating a CIA officer. And as they did some more investigation, they're like, oh, there was an insurance with his dental practice. He did some insurance billing wrong. So he has some insurance fraud. So we're going to try him on that too. So the state takes him back to court and tries him on the fraud and the insurance and all this other stuff. And he's found guilty. And he serves... he's found guilty and he is sentenced. He could have been sentenced to a max of 25 years. You know how much time he was sentenced to? 2 to 7 years. That's not that much time. But okay, the family was like, well, at least he got some time. He got out in 2018. So he just out here in these streets. Listen, well, his dental license was revoked. Could he get a dental license in another state? Him and his wife, they out here living happily ever after. What really happened to Tom? You know what I think happened? Not that anybody asked me, but you know what I'm saying? I think that Gilberto did probably unalive him on the strength of he's a weird creeper and all the weird emails and all of that. And he's very smug. He was like, it was not me. I was not there. You have no proof. New wife, girl, you might be in trouble, but you might not be. He might just have terrible judgment, or maybe he used to have terrible judgment and now it's much better. Listen, if I was his wife, if I saw one little hinky thing, I'd be like, nope, we're getting a divorce. And you better not kill me, because I got people watching. 48 Hours is watching. 2020 is watching. I got the Dateline people watching. Ring cameras in every room of the house. Girl, keep an eye out. Mrs. Nunez, am I going to see you at the family reunion? I'm just asking, because my in-laws' last name is Nunez. So, I don't know. Maybe Nunez is like Smith or something. Maybe every second person is Nunez, but Gilberto, I got one eye. I'm looking out for you. Okay, that's your lunchtime true crime. There will be more Deadly Dentists coming your way soon. I'll see you then. Bye.